This is Ben here with Olson's Hi-Fi. I'm here this week with the KEF LS60. This has been a speaker that's had a lot of buzz about it, and I do believe that it does live up to a lot of the hype. One of the key benefits, features of this speaker is that it is an all-in-one system. It's got your amps and your DACs all built into one. In fact, on this speaker, you got 500 watts going to the low frequency drivers. And so the story behind these low frequency drivers is that these speakers have been in development for a couple of years, and the actual KEF K60 or KC62 sub came from the development of this speaker. So even though the KC62 has been out for a while, it did come from the development of this speaker. And because of that, you definitely, a KC62 wouldn't be a commensurate sub for this. You would want to, go with the KF92 perhaps, but we'll circle back to that here in a little bit. The makeup here is we got 500 watts going to the low frequency drivers, 500 watts of Class D. We got 100 watts of Class D going to the mid section, and then 100 watts of Class AB going to the tweeter. And you definitely hear it. I mean, it's a really warm speaker for as detailed as it is. And these are extremely detailed. So these retail at this recording at about $7,000. And so if I were to compare this to another system, say a pair of KEF R7s with a Marantz ND40 amp, those are comparably priced. Those are both $7,000 systems, but this is still definitely, exceeding the performance of that package. This is more in line with something you're competing with $10,000 and $11,000 systems, maybe $12,000 systems with this setup. So what are my listening impressions of the KEF LS60? Man, these things sound huge. They're extremely detailed and at the same time warm. So we, are benefiting from the, meta technology, but also benefiting from that there's, an AB amp behind the tweeter. We were listening, we've rediscovered Mumford & Sons here recently, and we're listening to the song I Will Wait. That song has a huge number of instruments in it. It's a big production. And these speakers really did that song justice. It really presented just a huge stage with a lot of depth. And then, on to Ghosts That We Knew, another Mumford & Sons song, really brought out how centered the image can be on this, how focused the stereo image can be. It was really impressive. And of course, we had to put on a little bit of Creedence Clearwater and Fortunate Son, that, opening to that song, pretty dynamic. And these speakers sound great at moderate levels, but they really, when you bump them up a little bit, they're a lot of fun. Super dynamic. And then we put on Steely Dan Deacon Blues. Steely Dan is one of the highest production value recording artists that there are around, and it really brought out the capability and the detail in these speakers. As I had mentioned, we're going to circle back to sub pairings, and I had mentioned the KC62 would really not be enough for this because it's basically got the KC62 built into both of them. In a way, you definitely are going to be looking at the KF92 or perhaps a REL S510 is going to be what it takes to keep up with these guys. So at $7,000, this is an amazing performing system. The only thing you might want to do is add a turntable, and we played with that for a couple evenings here at the store. Can't think of a higher performing system at this price point, but don't take my word for it. Come down to Olson's Hi-Fi and hear these for yourself.